Hello, welcome to the Tough Night channel. My name is Shane. Today is a new segment of Tarot the News, and we're going to be talking about this article here. AI simulates Milky Way with 100 billion stars, which is, yeah, very impressive. So, yeah, I'm going to be reading this article and also pulling some tarot and archetype cards along to divine a spiritual message that we can potentially apply to our own lives. So it's a little bit of science and spirituality mashed together. Yeah, so let's begin. Before I read this first part, I just want to say on the pre-shuffle, I have the Six of Wands in the tarot, which is a sign of victory, public victory, which just off the title, you can tell they've had massive success with this new thing. And we have the Fool underneath the Six of Wands there, right? Yeah, and on the archetypes, we have the Father, the number two coming through. So the Father is like action, it's masculine energy, so it's action oriented. It is the doing of something, right? And so the doing of in this case is a simulation. So right off the bat, the message I'm picking up on is some kind of test, some kind of simulation that is loaded with energy, 100 billion stars, right? Today is Sunday, so there is an emphasis on our sun, our local star that gives our solar system life, right? But this is something even this goes beyond, right? And the sun is in the 11th house today. So there's this emphasis on like larger communities, larger groupings of things. And so this simulation is involved with our entire Milky Way, right? 100 billion stars. Crazy. Okay, so I'm going to read this first part and then I'll pull some cards after that. Researchers in Japan have achieved the first simulation of the Milky Way galaxy that tracks more than 100 billion individual stars, a feat accomplished by merging artificial intelligence with supercomputing power. The simulation, presented at the SC25 Supercomputing Conference in St. Louis this week, models 10,000 years of galactic evolution and runs 100 times faster than previous methods. So, already I'm seeing, you know, 100, 100, 10,000, 100. So if you were to reduce this to the digital root, it would just be one, but also a 10. So there's this energy of completion and also a new beginning at the same time. The one and the zero, right? The end and the beginning. Led by Keiya Hiroshima at the Riken Center for Interdisciplinary Theoretical and Mathematical Sciences, the international team from Japan and Spain tackled a problem that has long stymied astrophysicists, accurately simulating an entire galaxy while capturing rapid stellar events like supernova explosions. Yeah. So not only did they simulate this galaxy, they simulated it in a dynamic state. Like there are events going on. Like it is, it is a simulation of change over time, which is wild. 10,000 years. Yeah. So already right off the bat, this is big energy. This is like all encompassing energy, like huge stretches of time, loads of energy, lots of people involved, collaborations. Yeah. So let's get a little bit more about this. Let's see, what more should we know about this simulation of this massive stretch of space and time? Wow, okay, a lot just flew out there. I'm going to take them all. King of Pentacles on the bottom. So yeah, this is like stability. Once again, we have the masculine energy coming through with the king here. So this is a use of resources, right? The King of Pentacles has all of the available resources, and in order to make the simulation work, it took this one. It took AI and supercomputers. So there's also a combining of different resources in order to produce this new thing. All right, so this one landed off by its own. We have the Ace of Wands. Yeah, inspiration. Yeah, I mean, this is very inspiring, right? It is on a huge scale. There's so much they can do with this simulation, so much they can look at, so much information that can be gleaned from this, right? Three of Cups, revelry. Now there's a celebration going on here. So as I'm doing this, extrapolate this. This is my challenge to you. Extrapolate this to your own life. In what way is this kind of story playing out in your life? What kind of collaboration have you recently accomplished something brand new, something very exciting with, or at least started on, um, that is like a coming together cause for celebration? Doesn't have to be related to space, doesn't have to be related to AI, doesn't have to be related to computer science. This could be as simple as like putting a party together. And maybe you had all the resources in order to make this party happen, and you had some fresh ideas, and it worked. You had the party, you had some revelry, something like that. So this can work on many different levels. So just keep your mind open to how this could possibly relate to you. Three of Wands. So this is an expansive energy. You see on the bottom says Voyage. So this is like opening up horizons, and this simulation does open up a lot of horizons, right? Page of Swords, yeah, Awakened. So this is the studious card, the learning of new information, um, really being involved in paying attention to what's going on. Ten of Pentacles, accomplishment. Yeah, there's that 10 coming through, the 1 and the 0 coming out. Yeah, so this is, I would say, a major accomplishment. Seven of Swords, deception. It is a simulation, right? So it's not reality. So it may not be perfect. And there's some element of deceit involved. It doesn't necessarily have to be like an evil or bad thing. It's just that by their nature, simulations are not reality. They're just a rehearsal, right? They're an ideal scenario so that we can, run tests and, kind of see like the most likely outcomes, that kind of thing. So it's almost like, maybe you haven't actually had the party yet, if that is how you extrapolate this to your scenario. Could be anything else. But you kind of like tested it in some way. You've put things together and you're like, oh, does this work? Does this, like, maybe you invented a game, you know, and it involves some element of deception. Games are often more fun when there is some deceiving element to it that you have to overcome, right? Um, it's like trivia. Like the deception is that you don't get to know the answer. You have to guess, right? And hopefully you get it right. So yeah, there's this idea of like a rehearsal of something, testing something. And finally, we have Six of Pentacles, sharing. Yeah, so there is this collaborative energy, a combining of resources in order to accomplish whatever this is for you. In this case, a crazy simulation of 100 billion stars in the Milky Way. All right, let's keep going here. Breaking through the computational barrier. Yeah, so there, just from the title, there's this idea of, well, breaking through. There is this like, oh my God, this new method works. This combining these two separate things together to create this new thing works, and it's really cool actually, and it's very valuable and gives us a lot of new information, or it's very exciting and is a new way to do something. So previous state-of-the-art simulations could handle galaxies with the mass equivalent of roughly 1 billion suns, 100 times smaller than the Milky Way's actual stellar population. I mean, that's still crazy. 1 billion suns. I can't even like imagine, like, what? That's so much. There's a lot of energy surrounding whatever this is for you. It's like heavily loaded with creative energy. The sun is like the source of creation, right? So it is this like surge of energy. Conventional physics-based approaches would require 315 hours to simulate every 1 million years of galactic evolution, meaning a billion-year simulation would take more than 36 years to complete. That's still crazy. Simulating a billion years in 36 years, like that's still insane. But now it's even better. The breakthrough came through a deep learning surrogate model trained on high resolution supernova simulations. This AI component learned to predict how gas expands during the 100,000 years following a supernova explosion, allowing the simulation to bypass computationally expensive small time steps while maintaining accuracy. Using 7 million CPU cores across Riken's Fugaku supercomputer and the University of Tokyo's Miyabi system, the team reduced simulation time to just 2.78 hours per million years, enabling a billion-year projection in approximately 115 days. Wow, that is an exponential reduction in the amount of time it takes to simulate a billion years. What's so crazy about this is in a way, it's like a form of digital divination, right? Because they are using computers to predict the behavior of stars, galaxy, everything, right? That's nuts. This even just this process in and of itself is like a combining of spirituality and science. Okay, yeah. So I think there's one section. Yeah, there's usually just three sections in these summaries. So let's get a little bit more about this. I'm gonna start this section off with some archetypes. So there is a significant reduction in the amount of time it takes to accomplish something. Some and the reduction comes from one, advances in technology and things that are available in order to accomplish the goal, and two, the coming together of different parties, different groups who have different types of resources. Um, yeah, gnosis, right? This is yeah. So gnosis is like in intrinsic knowing. So it seems like whatever this was, it was intuitively led. Like this idea to change the way this thing was being approached. It was like just one of those like aha, like you just intuitively had this nudge to try this other thing, and then it turned out to be groundbreaking, literally fault line. This is like tremors, earthquakes, right? This is shaking things up, completely shaking them up and rearranging the landscape. And get one more archetype here. I'm curious to know, like, what is this for? I mean, it's going to be different for all of us. Obviously, we know in this scenario, it's for simulating events in the Milky Way galaxy so that we can get insight into our galaxy and the way it behaves. So we can have better understanding, gnosis, of the operations. So we can shake up our foundational knowledge of the Milky Way. All right, I'm just going to pull one more. Nothing else seems to be jumping out here. The cave, yeah. Yeah, so this card's a little spooky, right? It's like you're being summoned into you're being summoned to go deeper, right? And actually, look, there's a sun right there, kind of like guiding you in deeper into this deeper understanding of this thing that you are doing. On the bottom, we have the warrior. So there's this element of courage here. Courageously going deeper and combining resources. Like I said, the sun is in the 11th house, which is all about larger communities and organizations coming together, or at least the way that they operate together. There's an emphasis on collaboration, right? Let's get a little bit of cards, see what else wants to come through here. 7 million CPU cores is insane. There's so many. I wonder how long it took them to assemble something like that, or what this supercomputer even looks like. I bet it's like so understated. Like I'm imagining like the original computers where they had like massive buildings dedicated to these giant like floor to ceiling terminals and all these flashing lights, but the supercomputer is probably something so sleek and like well designed these days. It could be like racks, like a server room, as yeah, pretty much what I was saying originally, but more like modern, sleek looking. All right, I'm just gonna pull through. Okay, Three of Swords, interesting. Six of Cups and Knight of Wands. Seven of Pentacles on the bottom. Results, yeah. I mean, there are definitely results coming from this simulation, this test run. There's an investment element involved there too. Three of Swords. So this has been not easy, whatever it is for you. I can't. Yeah, I mean, doing this was probably there's probably a lot of grief involved. Um, Six of Cups. This is all about like connecting to the past. It's the nostalgia card, right? So there's definitely a reevaluation of the past in order to evolve, in order to reach the next level. You had to look back. And it seems like this connection with the past, even if there was some level of like sadness associated with it, some level of grief, mental anguish. Swords are all mental. This is the heartbreak card, but it's there's more of an emphasis on air mental energy with the swords, right? But yeah, this allowed a successful movement forward. You can see here it says a force of nature on the bottom for the Knight of Wands, but this is like double fire, right? Knights represent fire, and then also wands represent fire. So this is like, a very fast, passionate movement forward. Um, a a I don't want to say stable source of energy because that's more like Knight of Pentacles, but this is like momentum to go, right? Gas in the tank. Yeah, okay. So, yes, this section, in summary, I would say there was a breakthrough associated with going deep into the past and um, kind of rediscovering something, but in light of new technologies, new ways of thinking, new ways of interacting with the situation, which allowed for this like burst of energy forward in order to break through and accomplish something. Okay, and then let's get to the last part here. Implications beyond the stars. Oh, that's funny. Literally, what I'm trying to do here is talk about the implications beyond the stars. According to Hiroshima, the methodology extends far beyond astrophysics. Integrating AI with high performance computing marks a fundamental shift in how we tackle multi scale, multi physics problems across the computational sciences. He said, noting applications in climate modeling, weather prediction, and oceanography, fields where linking small scale and large scale processes poses similar computational challenges. The simulation enables researchers to trace how elements essential for life emerged within the galaxy, potentially illuminating the chemical evolution that made planets like Earth possible. Yeah, so this is about the past. This is about the origins, right? This is about looking back at everything, literally everything, to see how we got here, you know, and all the grief involved in that process. um, so, whatever this thing is that you have discovered, this new way of collaborating, working on a project. If you haven't necessarily been collaborating with others, then maybe it's just a collaboration of the parts of yourself, right? the because we are made up of many different aspects of ourselves, right? There's like, the hardworking part of ourselves, the easygoing, joyful, playful part of ourselves, you know, the loving part of ourselves, nurturing part of ourselves, the sassy part. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. We are a multitude of different aspects rolled up into one. So this, if you haven't actually been collaborating with everyone, then you could look at it through that lens of there is a deeper collaboration, right? A deeper collaboration of the parts of yourself and the way that you show up in this life in order to accomplish your goals. And you may have been running some kind of simulation, whether you know it or not. Like you've been involved in some kind of simulation that was preparing you for something else. It was giving you insights into the way that things are accomplished, that things come about, but it wasn't necessarily the reality itself. It was just a test, it was just a simulation, it was something to prepare you for reality or something to give you a way better understanding of reality. Yeah, strength here. So, yeah, this definitely has given you a lot more strength, a lot more passion, a lot more drive. Leo coming out here with the strength card. That is all about personal expression and creativity and passion. That sign is. It's also ruled by the sun. So, yeah, we have a reference to the sun coming out here. And the number 11, and we are dealing with the 11th house. So, once again, this emphasis on implications for all of humanity, like global implications, right? And if you don't want to go that big, you could just say like community implicate, just larger groups of people, more than just like, a small group of friends or a small family or something like that. It's like bigger than that. Whoa, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so the world, like I said, global implications. And there's some kind of like, even as this article is suggesting, this is a huge milestone. There's some The moon to me is the card of the past, connecting with the past. So we already had the Six of Cups come out, and this is to me is just putting more emphasis on that like evaluation of things of the past, of maybe who you used to be or the things you used to do, things that may have happened to you in the past. There's also this element of mystery associated with the moon. Hierophant is a card of coming together. It's like institutional card. It can represent larger institutions. So once again, 11th house energy. Also, coming together, join together is what it says on the bottom. So it's like it can be seen as the marriage card. It's also like a card of teaching, of sharing information. Yeah, which yeah. And then we have two more here. We have the Queen of Wands and the King of Cups. So, confidence and emotional stability. That could be the result of this simulation for you. It has given you this creative confidence, right? And also the sense of emotional stability and being able to act from this stable place instead of acting from a place of like being deeply depressed or angry or, whatever, insert extreme emotion here. You are able to consolidate your emotional energy and act from that in a very balanced and stable way. Very powerful combination there. Oops. Yeah. Okay. I think that is all I have on this message. I'm curious to know if this is resonating with you. What was your simulation? What was your test? Do you know? Were you even aware that you were part of one? Yeah, put it in the comments below. if you feel inclined to share. Yeah, please like the video if you enjoyed it, if you found some value here, some entertainment. Um, as always, oh, and if you have any ideas for articles you'd like me to do a reading on, also share in the comments below, please, and I will consider it. Uh, yeah, that's all I have for you today. As always, take care of yourselves, keep your heart open. Bye.